Hi, this is Anthony from West Coast Custom Concrete, Bobcat Service, and Concrete Pumping. This video will be on pumping concrete today. Here I am setting the pump up. I'm putting a 90 on. I connect the reducer, the 3-inch reducer, to 2.5. I reduce it down. I keep them connected, and I reduce it to 2.5 to 2. So that the 90 goes 4 off the pump, then it goes to 3, then 2.5, and then I reduce it down to 2. This is a 2-inch hose, 50-footer, heavy duty ends. You can cut those into 25-footers too if you wanted. They're easier to handle, but I've been doing it so long, I'd rather have them 50-footers. I prefer it like that. I have a couple cheater hoses that I bring in case I don't have to put a 50-footer on the end. I'll just throw the 25 on the end, 2-inch. The 2.5 hoses come at 25 feet. I'm one of the rare concrete contractors that actually owns my own equipment. I have my own bobcats and dumps and pumps. So when I'm bidding jobs and I'm not getting concrete contracting jobs, I'll just pump or demo for haul dirt or break concrete with my bobcat and haul it, or pump for other concrete contractors in Orange County. I think I've worked for every concrete contractor in Orange County, California. That's Dave. He's one of my regulars. I've been pumping for him for probably 20 years. I've known him for. I try and service everyone, even if I'm on my own contracting jobs. I'll still pump or demo. That's a 4-cylinder turbo diesel Deutsch. It's a German motor. That's a fan cooling the hydraulic fluid, and that's a nitrogen bottle. That's a piston that puts the nitrogen in the hose as it strokes, so the line doesn't surge. Pump's super simple. It's like a diesel motor, a hydraulic pump, two-foot rams, and that's about all there is to it. It's a really nice machine. That's a 2.5-inch hose to 2-inch. I reduce that down. Try not to put the reducer in the job because it's kind of a pain in the ass to turn it around and pull it out. But I got it at the end by the fence, so it'll be easy to pull it out. I ran more 2-inch. Here's the truck. I like pumping off these guys. I've been pumping off that company here for about 20 years. They use sifted sand. Pumping concrete, some of these companies use asphalt sand and cheapen it and stuff, and you can tell when you're pumping it, it's junk. It doesn't slide in the hose. Here I am going to prime it out. I got 5 gallons of water in the back of the hopper. I'm going to hold it up so it doesn't go down the line. So when he puts concrete in it, I could throw the line down and the water's in front of it, priming inside the hose. He didn't have a wheelbarrow or nothing to shoot the water, and so he didn't mind. So I just put it in the slab. It's easier when you put the rebar in and you just pull it up as you go, because with those adobes and stuff, they get tripping and falling. You just lift it up where it's crossed, and once you get mud under there, it's up. Here it is. Here he just puts a chalk line on the house, and I just nail it down. He hits it with a float, and it's right at grade. So you just lift it and put it right where it's crossed. It's off the ground. If you lift it too high on adobes and stuff, or it's up too high, it'll crack. The concrete will crack. And when you got a pump out there, you don't need like 10 people out there wheelbarrowing and with a rake or whatever. I seen a couple of videos where they're like raking the stuff. I couldn't believe it. You can just use the pump, lay the bead right on the house to the form. You got one rod guy. I mean, you don't even need a shovel guy here. I can lay it in there so perfect that he just rods it almost like a laser screed. Just have a guy pulling the steel, or I'll pull it up, one or the other. Gee, there's no shovel guy, no 10 guys standing in your way. Just me and the rod man, and then his friend Dan helping pull up the steel. I'll stop the pump periodically and I'll pull the slack out the gate, and then I'll come right back before he even catches up. Start pumping again. But if you want to be a contractor, to diversify yourself is the best way to go. Because I see these other contractors and they got like a bucket of tools with some trowels and a broom in it. I mean, it's almost like a handyman. I'm not subbing any of the work out I do. I demo my own jobs. I grade them. I pump them. I set them up. I just call finishers in to help me finish in it. Plus, I've been pumping for so long, I can find the best guys around. See, when you get good enough, you can lay a bead right on that line. You don't want to go over the line because then it'll be hard for him to find the grade where it's at, because once the concrete goes on it, he can't see. But as you can see, I can obviously put it dead nuts on it. And then he'll just come with a hand float, and it's right at grade where water's falling, and then go to the 2x4 to the right, and off his screed he has against the house, and you have a perfect water flow. I think this job's about 7 yards, it's 7 yards. So it'll take me about 10 minutes to pump it down, by 15 to wash it out. So it's 30 minutes or less and I'm gone. Yeah, like I said, I pump for every guy in Orange County I have once or another. I got about 150 client base of concrete pumping and demo. But the pump is absolutely the way to go. If you notice, there's no plastic, there's nothing on the house. It's just you can do it without even getting a drop on the fence or the house if you know how to do it. I think this is my 1 millionth job or something. Huh. See, I'm just laying it on the to give him a screed off that. He can get one off the house, and he can get one off the wood, off the 2x4s, and then he can just go right up the middle, and you have your perfect height. But once you get good enough, you don't need a shovel guy. You don't need anyone really to help you. It's pretty much a one-man show. I think this is the last square here. He had so much easier with a pump. See, he's getting the screed off the house where I laid it on the chalk line. He's just gonna use a hand float. You can't really see the chalk line right there I'm laying it on, but it's right on it. But when I was pumping it, I could see it. Yeah, I recently watched a couple videos on YouTube, which I don't really watch that much of, and I came across some concrete videos. And I don't know where they were, but they were using like rakes and shit and wheelbarrows. I couldn't believe it. The concrete people thinks it's so hard or such hard work, but it doesn't have to be. Here I am. I'm gonna be washing the hose out. That's a washout hook. You put a little water in it, otherwise it'll plug in, and just throw the water out. And then you just hook it to your hose and you throw it up in the cement truck in the back up on the hopper, and you pump about 90 100 gallons in it. Your whole system's clean. And what the truck does is they take it back to the plant, and they have a washout pit where they just discharge their barrel and they unload it, and it sits in the washout pit, and then they bring it to the crushing plant, and the crushing plant crushes it up and makes road base out of it. So it all gets used. None of it goes to waste. Even the old concrete you demo, they crush it and make base out of it. See how clean that is. Once I that's just clean water. I like sticking the hose up in the back in case there's any rocks or sand or whatever, and you can feel with your hand. If there's no sand or rock, it's pretty clean back there. So at this point, all you got to do is unclamp all your hose, put your reducers away, stretch the hose out, and roll it up, and put it back in the truck, and you're done. Those took me about under 15 minutes, probably 10 minutes to do that, and it'll probably take me longer to wash it out than actually pump the job. I like putting all the reducers, clamps, everything away before I pull the hose out. That's the washout hook. You just pump it back in there. I'm unclamping everything here. I'll put it all away, and then I'll stretch the hose out in the street there and then roll it up. I used to have a flatbed. Now I just use my regular truck as both. I throw the 2.5s back by the window up in the cab. I used to throw them over the side, but I broke my window one time. So now I walk it in there and easily set it down. And I put the 50 footers back by the tailgate because I'll just pull them onto the tailgate while I'm standing on the ground and put them on my shoulder. They're not that heavy, but day in and day out, it gets, sometimes you're tired. And I like stretching them out along the truck and my pump out front. And I just wind it up right towards my truck and keep going and throw it in right there. So now all that's left is putting everything away, and that'll pretty much be a wrap on this job. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe.